It's 8 o'clock in London, 3 p.m. in Philadelphia, and all around the world it's time for Positive Mental Attitude.
Hello, hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you let me know either way? Can you wave where you are? Can I start looking into the camera rather than into the screen above it? Can Twitch stop playing up? It appears to be working, Twitch. Hello, Nick. Yes, yes. Can't hear that often enough from a lady. Marvellous. Well, how are we all doing? How are we? Who have we got? Mandy, obviously, just said hello. Kirsty, how you doing? You okay? Saf, how you doing, mate? How are the Everton fans this evening? Oh, mate. Everton have had 9 home games this season. I'm a season ticket holder. We've had 9 home games. I have been to 5 of them. Out of those 9 home games, we've had 3 wins, 1 draw, and 5 defeats. Have a guess which of those 5 games I've been to this season. I will give you a clue. I've not seen us win once. It's ridiculous. All 5 games I've been to, we've lost. But us Everton fans, we're doing all right today because that's another massive win. If it wasn't for the 10-point deduction, we'd be in the top half of the table, fighting for Europe. So the Premier League can go and foxtrot Oscar as far as I'm concerned. And congratulations on Sheffield Wednesday getting a win yesterday as well. I didn't see the score, but I just seen the fact that they'd won, so great stuff. That's what you want to see. Loads more wins. How are we doing? Is it windy where you are? Cape Town City lost the Western Cape Derby. That's a shame, mate. But they're on a decent run, aren't they? So, you know, you expect little hiccups in the middle of the road. You're on the way there, though. You'll be sound. Botrix has correctly joined the channel. That means we're almost there now. We're almost ready to rock and roll. Yeah, is it windy where everyone else is? Because it's been absolutely horrible the last couple of days. Wednesday won 1-0. Dorst saved the penalty as well. Good keeper him, I like him. That's what we like to see. My mate will be delighted. My lights suddenly go a little bit dimmer. Strange. Windy in Cape Town. Well, it was very windy here to the point where there was trees on the rail lines yesterday, and I ended up doing an entire mission in the car trying to pick up my daughter and her mates. So it's definitely picking up in North Wales. Yeah, it's not been as bad today. I'll say. Well, yesterday my daughter was working in Liverpool, and it got to just before 5 o'clock, I think it was, and they were told to go home because it was too dangerous. So her and her 2 mates ran to get the train. They got the train as far as Sandhills, which is the first station outside of the underground, and were told to get off because the driver would exceed his daily hours, apparently, which is stupid, but there you go. And then you were waiting for ages because there was trees down on lines, there was a power cut. I ended up trying to get them from Birkdale, which is just down the road from where we live. They weren't there. So I was told to go and pick them up in Freshfield, which is further towards Liverpool. I got there, and then I was told it was Formby, which is the next station. Then I was told, no, it's Hightown, which is another station in the middle of nowhere. I had to drive there to pick them up. But I got all 3 of them, got them in the car, drove home, and they must have been tired and stressed and what have you, because the 2 girls in the back fell asleep on the way home. And I made sure that they walked in the front door. Took me daughter home, make sure, well, she almost got in the door when she noticed that the bins had been blown over and the side gate had been blown off its hinges and smashed to pieces. So I waited with her while she checked on her rabbit and made sure everything was all right, and then made sure she got in the house as well after having a hug I haven't had a hug off air in absolutely ages, because mainly I'm just sat in the car driving, and yeah, it took them the best part of 4.5 hours to get home. Poor sods, but they were home and safe, and they're there today. Hopefully they're getting a lift home as well, so I don't need to move after this. Hopefully. But you never know. The wind might have something to do with a lack of die sightings. He doesn't like it. The dragons, the flying dragons, don't like it too windy. They find it difficult. I mean, they have to land into a headwind, otherwise off they go. Not all heroes wear capes, definitely not. I wasn't wearing one yesterday. I was wearing a really, really fairy fleece jumper, which I needed because it was horrible. But I'm quite happy. I don't mind driving. When I put down on me car insurance every year, I'm going to do about 6,000 miles, which is way above what I normally do because I don't really do much driving, just to and from the station. I normally do about 3,500 to 4,000. I insured the car in May of this year, and I've already done 4,500, so I'm going to go over me 6 easily by the time it comes round to sort the insurance out again. But this has been a bit of a strange year, so sod them. Me fairy fleece cape. Is that a place? It sounds like somewhere, an enchanted place in South Africa, the fairy fleece cape. The kind of place where oldie sailors used to get off and go for a mooch around and find a wife. The fairy fleece cape. I could, yeah. Furry, not fairy, furry. It's very furry. By the way, Mandy, fair escape. Bloody hell. I made that about 7 hours ago and it's still red hot. No, I didn't. I made that about half an hour ago. That is face meltingly hot, but I thought I remembered it this time. Thank you. Thanks for mentioning it. Fairest Cape, yes. That's what some sailors call Cape Town and the surrounds. Probably with very, very good reason. I got a reminder. Thank you very much, Mandy. And also, congratulations on your birthday, which happened a couple of days or a few days ago. I've lost complete track of time now. So a very, very happy birthday to you. Hope you had a good day. A nice chilled day. Instead of being out absolutely ragged by the wind. We don't need that. It was horrible out there, so celebrate your birthday indoors, hopefully. Chilled and relaxed, and I'm still getting more and more notifications that I'm live, despite the fact that it is me that's live. Thursday, yeah. Sunday, jeez. Oh, I'm back in work tomorrow. I've had a week off and I'm back in work tomorrow. Devastated. But the week I had off a few weeks ago, I managed to get one thing done on my whiteboard. I've managed to get 3 done on this one. So I'm using that as a plus point, I think. I did manage to get more done. Plus, I've managed to sleep a few times. Which is just groovy, innit? Hadden goedenavond. Hoe gaat het? Mandy's still drinking a birthday booze. Brilliant. You're on the team here, are you? What you having? What's your tipple tonight? I'm on the Earl Grey, obviously. Jesus. That is roasting. Open the window slightly because it's ridiculously hot. It's not overly cold out, it's just the horrible, the fine rain, vile fine rain, and then loads of wind and stuff. It's disgusting. Do not be out in it. That's why I didn't go today. I thought the weather was bad and I was knackered. Otherwise, if I drove down, I just didn't fancy it at all. I need to be at 100% to be able to go to the match these days, unfortunately. It was Sir Francis Drake who proclaimed it the fairest cape, which also sounds like a wine, doesn't it? It sounds very much like a South African red. 6 bottles of the fairest Cape, fine inkeep. Mandy got 2 bottles of Tea Maria this year. That's what we want to say. Thank you very much. Wonderful. I've still got loads of alcohol-free red wine because it's Boss. And where are we? 10th. It's the 10th, isn't it? So I have got exactly 3 weeks to go, and I will have had an entire year, a calendar year of alcohol-free. 2023 will be completely alcohol-free. How good's that? I need to go back and have a look at the video I made last year to celebrate the fact that I managed to get through the Christmas period and New Year alcohol-free. This is a full year on. I'll see exactly where I've come to at that point, how far I've moved. And in case you didn't see my little video, I have also been officially discharged from occupational therapy, which is, it's both a wonderful milestone and quite freeing, knowing that I've got to the point where they can't do anything further with me, but also a little bit concerning because I am on my own again. Will I end up slipping? Will I end up falling off the recovery wagon, as it is? I don't think I will this time because I know more. I know more about what's happening with me. I've got an extra 12 months under my belt. I know what works and what doesn't work, and thanks to me wonderful physios and occupational therapists, they've shown me the kind of things that really do work well. And it's the stupid things. I mentioned I bought gloves, and just putting gloves on and off again, that thing of moving your hand in that direction, spraying them, taking them on and off, is a fantastic exercise. I mentioned it to me therapist, who was really happy that I've been doing that kind of thing. But it's those kind of things I need to do constantly. Alcohol-free makes me look more handsome. Thank you, Vel, Hadawich. I won't be able to get to the door later when my head will have swollen. Congratulations, thank you. Anyone gives you alcohol-free Tea Maria, they can have it straight back. Normally bounced off the head. No, we don't want that, do we? Got to have a bevy when you can. Enjoy it while you can. Those who can, rather. No, the Friday the derby took place in Stellenbosch. That's the winery hub of the region, right? I've heard of Stellenbosch. I must have had South African wines in the past. And plus it sounds like it just could be a place in the Netherlands down the road from where I used to live. Sounds exactly like that. We'll nag you in RDA. Thank you. You always do anyway, which I appreciate. Keep me on my toes. Don't let things drop. That's the problem. Is getting too complacent and thinking I'm all right now. I'm fine. I'm not. I know I'm not. Putting them on and off. I'm rebooting my hands. I am indeed. It's but it works. It's stupid, but it works really well. Silly things like opening doors left-handed. I can hold a shopping basket. I need to be really careful with that though, because I'm putting wine bottles in. I don't want to be dropping that. So I do need to be careful, but I can do it. It's getting to the point where there's strength there. I did my strength test, which is you have a machine and you squeeze it like that. And that was higher than it was at the start and in the middle. I had one when I first started my occupational therapy. I had one, sort of, I don't know how far in it was, 5 months in. And then I had one on Friday. So that movement is stronger. Then you have the one with the thumb, just pressing a thumb thing. And it got up from 4 to 6, whatever the measurement is. So to go up by an extra 50% shows that the hand is strong, or it's getting a lot stronger than it was anyway. It's the dexterity, it's the little movements that need to work on. So I will continue to have to do silly little things constantly, picking up bottles and putting them down, picking up little counters, putting them down, beans, dried beans, picking them up and putting them in a row and things. It's loads and loads of weird stuff I need to do, but it does help. Because this time next year, I want to be further ahead than I am now. I don't want to be still sat here saying, oh well, I'm disappointed with the progress. So it's me that needs to put the effort in, and I will put the effort in. Mandy's trying. Bot is not playing ball. Just make sure 100% that he's plugged in. He is. You'll get there. Haruichi did a Stellenbosch wine tour in 2008. Made it through 4 wineries. That's some good going. I am very jealous of that. Very, very jealous. Yeah, I'll have to keep up with my physio. I've still got an album to write. Another one. I've got about 5 albums worth of good gear at the moment, ready to go. Have you got Connect 4? No. The little counters from Connect 4 are similar to the ones that are used in occupational therapy. Only the ones in therapy have got little sort of just dips in them, which makes it, I don't know, it's good for flicking them over slightly, not like pinging them in the air, just gently pulling them over. I did go onto Amazon and I bought a drafts game where it took the same little counters, but they're a little bit lighter, so I might have to put a little bit of blue tack on the back of them just to weigh them down slightly. But it's that's the kind of thing I need to be picking up, those little counters. I need to be slowly turning them over, thumb, index finger, and then slowly each finger as well. But I could play left versus right hand, yeah. It's that kind of stuff I need to carry on doing. Plus, at some point I need to start getting out and walking a bit more as well. I tend to hit me daily steps targets because I go to Tesco. Whereas I need to be going out in the fresh air and having a proper walk. Or try and get the treadmill looked at because it's not working properly at the moment. And my dad can't fix it because he's still not right. He's getting there, but he's still not right. Connect 4 counters have ridges around the edge where they all clip into each other. You miss my walking videos, Saturday? So do I. Not in this weather. Yeah. In this weather wouldn't be a bad thing. I've got the microphone with the dead cat on it. So it shouldn't be a problem being heard. It is a bit dodgy out there, but I don't mind going for a walk in the rain. So I might try that. Would shuffling a deck of cards help? It would if I could, but I can't. But I have got a deck of cards because just taking one off the top, here we are, take one off the top and turn it over and put it down. That does help. It's all that movement of sort of duck fingers, grab, turn over. So I do have to get me deck of cards out and use that more often. But that's good thinking, very good thinking, Saf. Too busy being a taxi driver. I have not stopped for the past 3 or 4 weeks, I think. Although I think my niece will be driving herself to work every morning now. I had 2 weeks of doing that, which I didn't mind at all. Plus it was nice to spend a bit of time with her, just having a chat and what have you. I'd say I did the same with my sister as well, and the pair of them both said the same thing. He's really interested in him, isn't he? Yes, because I'm well read and I don't take any shit off people. So when she was trying to tell me that the earth is covered by a dome, nah, not at all. Barnesy, how you doing, mate? How's things? You alright? How's the weather there? Trying to make it sound like you're in the middle of Siberia. You're about 30 minutes away from where I am. I can play Snap. I can, Mandy, if you fancy a game. Did he do online Snap? Is that a thing? Massive multiplayer online Snap. Oh, gee, that tea is ridiculous. I need to clean my windows. I know you can't see them, but I do, I need to. And also the windows in my car because they're absolutely minty. Just bought some new stuff to try because no matter what I try, I can never get my windows properly clean. I don't know. It's weird. But I'm going to try this week. Despite the fact that I've been off. My stuff arrived yesterday. I couldn't manage to get in the car and do it. But tomorrow I'll take my break and do it. Wet and windy, same as usual. Yep. Not much changes. Yeah, greeting Mr. Barnes on an airport is a bit dangerous. Yes, there are better places to shout hijack than in an airport, definitely. You or the weather. We need answers. The fact that it's wet and windy also means that's why it's green and looks lovely. So it's short-term pains for long-term games, man. Or gains, even. Yeah, a bit of both. This is not going to work again, is it, Paul? Oh, piss off, will you? Send a message. Will it pop up? No, it won't. Why isn't Botrick working on Twitch? Useless bloody thing. Where are we? Yeah, all the timers are working, all the commands are working. Name. Moderation. Bloody awful this, isn't it? Ah. Maybe. Botrick's went on strike. Nah, it should be alright. I might have to very quickly try something now, so 1 second. I'm going to be pushing buttons, so beware just for a second. If anything weird happens, it's not me, it's Botrick's. Right, so hopefully the chat will start reappearing at some point. There you go, it's working. Hey, I've fixed something live on air. How good's that? Is there a punchline to that? I don't know why bot doesn't work on Twitch. Isn't it to do with swallowing a fly? Oh, that's something different, isn't it? But anyway, that's working. I don't know why I make a big deal of it, because no one's watching on Twitch apart from myself, so why is that a big deal? But it's on there on the screen now anyway. It's got a little different icon. I don't know why I'm pointing there, because you can't see that. It's got a different icon in there, hasn't it? The reason, the rhyme. It is back. Is it he who shall not be named? I think it was he who shall not be named, who's been pissing about and stopping me from doing things. Options that I turned on or ticked have suddenly disappeared and have not been ticked, whereas now they are. So now it's working. And it's not a big deal, but I'm just pleased that I've managed to get something working. I hate not being able to sort tech stuff out. I am the purple one saying hello. I am indeed. Although this is blue, not purple. I am, yes. The reason, the rhyme. That would be the music podcast, which I've been using as a pseudo on Twitch just to watch myself. Yo, how's that? We've gone cross-platform. How good is this? Proper cross-platform. Fully multimedia. We're integrated. How's that? How can we have an integrated stream? Just need millions of people on Twitch to now start following me and paying me a shit ton of money. Then I can become an arrogant prick like most of those streamers are. Nah, I'm only joking. I would never be that way. Yep, I do look very purple. What is the Twitch handle? The Twitch handle is The Reason, The Rhyme, which is also the name of my podcast, music podcast on Spotify. Mandy, no, you don't need to read two screens. It's all on one screen there. That's the whole point of having it combined, so you only have to read one screen. How do we? Twitch is a streaming platform. It's the biggest streaming platform in the world. So all these multi-millionaires who stream themselves playing games, they're all on Twitch, or majority of them are anyway. There's also Kick, Trovo, what else? Well, YouTube, obviously I'm streaming on YouTube now. But the majority of it, the real big streamers are all on Twitch. So the idea is, if I could get on there and just get a few people watching, I'd be able to possibly start dragging a few people in, and you can make money straight away on that. You don't have to get to thousands of watch hours. Can I type it in the chat? Yep. Can I? I think I can. 1 second, where am I? Jeez. This is pushing buttons. If the stream ends, it's your fault, Saf. Your fault. There we go. That's the one. The Reason, The Rhyme. And the reason why it's called that is because it's a music podcast about music that I got into and why I got into it. So the rhyme is the music, and the reason is, why is it an important song to me? Why did it make a big difference to my life growing up? So it's for me, it's a really interesting thing to leave behind for my daughter. She's getting into the same kind of music as I am now as well, so it's a good little thing for if I'm not around, if I'm busy, or in the future if I'm no longer on this planet, she can go back and listen to it on Spotify, as well as having loads of videos of me acting an absolute tit on YouTube. She's quite lucky that way. Casper, how you doing, mate? How's things? Yeah, no one needs Twitch really. It's just it is quite a young person's thing, to be honest. It's something that passed me by for years. The majority of people who are streaming on it are in the 20s or teens. Likewise, the amount of people that follow on there are normally teens and 20s as well. YouTube's a bit more of a grown-up audience, but it would be nice just to have that possibility there as a fallback. And yes, the same thing that we did with the RDA a while back on the podcast. I like to do stuff where I'll make a playlist of music and each song will have a reason behind it. Now, it's always me. But in the case of the RDA, it was you. But it's still a reason. Everyone had the reason behind it. Less of your songs didn't make the cut. Your songs, Mandy, will be 1 and 2 on the next episode. I need to go back into the chat on RDA and ask if anyone else wants to add some more, because I think it was a good idea, and it was very, very interesting. Not highbrow enough, as if mine were highbrow. So it's good. It's good as well, because for a change, when I make my own music podcast, everything that I do is just my choice, and I don't need to write anything down. Everything's in my head anyway. I just put them all in order, sit in front of the computer and go, right, this is the reason why I like it. Ding, 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 ding. It takes me 5 minutes to do an episode, when everything's working, obviously. When it comes to putting other people's together, I had to make sure there was a reason. And if I could sort of link myself to that as well. Barnsley, what's RDA? Ring Dinkers Anonymous. Are you not in there? It's an Instagram chat with loads of the people that follow Arius and the Nation. If you're on Instagram, We'll have to get you joined in, mate. It's good. Oh, you can't find me on Twitch. Sorry, Saf. That's me. Oh, that's me alternate. I'm Tricadelic on Twitch. Hang on a second. There you go, Saf. That's who I am on Twitch as well. The one I'm streaming at the moment on Twitch is that. I'm also watching myself on the Reason the Rhyme, just so it looks like I've got an audience. A bunch of weird people. Yes, Saturday it is. But it's good because it's interesting. Anything that's a little bit different is interesting. And to have people from all over the world connecting on a daily basis as well, I think is fantastic. It's not very often you get that. Talking about nothing and everything is fantastic. I do like that. It can go a bit crazy at times. If you ever do join, as a pro tip, some great advice: mute the chat for notifications, because at times it just goes ping, 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 ping. It is absolutely insane. So many channels I can't keep track. I can keep track of them. I'm all right with that. It's only 4 YouTube channels, 2 Twitch channels, but then I've got Tricadelic is on absolutely everything. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Instagram. I've been using Tricadelic for the last 20 odd years on social media, simply because my nickname in the pub was Treacle. And if you try and put treacle into anything, whether it's starting off a social media account or trying to get an email account or something, treacle is always taken. Someone else is taking it. So treacle plus funkadelic or screamadelica together is Tricadelic. That's the reason behind the name anyway. 9 OnlyFans channel. Yep. Well, if I had 9 fans only, I'd still be happy. If you're not on IG, it's well worth it. Seriously, Jack, definitely worth it. Psychedelic treacle, yeah, exactly. Which is not far off being Pale Jam, isn't it? Similar kind of thing. Psychedelic treacle. That's where that came from. I'm that on all me social medias. I had to change the name on YouTube to Positive Mental Attitude because it didn't make any sense otherwise, but the handle is still Tricadelic. Yep, Hadawik wasn't on there either and is very much a member of it now. Very active on there as well. People just chat all day to each other. So if you're ever just bored or feeling a little bit sort of out of the loop on life, you jump in there and then within about 5 or 10 minutes you've learned something. Saf sees me twice and slightly delayed. I've got a follower. You'd be doing me a decent favour there, Saf, on Twitch. Me viewing figures have gone through the roof. I'll be trending before you know it. Kirsty is back. How you doing? I'm moaning about being hot and I'm sat here wearing a hat and a fleece hoodie in front of a massive light. Just so theatrical. Plus I've got other lights on around me. That's the reason why it's normally dead hot in here, isn't it? Just lights everywhere. But it's important, being well lit apparently. Yeah, RDA helps you escape insanity by replacing it with a different flavour of insanity. Which, that's all you can ask for at times. As you can see. Very, very bright. Too busy dropping off black magic to get bored. Of course, it's a 24/7 job, that one, isn't it? Delivering to the lovely ladies. Yep. Where was the birthday box? Mandy's still waiting. We should have thought about that, really, shouldn't we? Should have tried to find someone who lives down the road from you to drop off black magic without with just a sign on it, RDA. That would have freaked you out. There you go, another test. Just making sure the Twitch is definitely still working. Did you have a good birthday? Was it interesting? Thursday? What happened on Thursday? Got to save up for Thornton's, yep. Anybody know how to get a Nokia 3310 out of a rectal passage? Also, anyone got a spare phone? I've misplaced mine. Jeff? Jeff, man. You are an absolute wrong un. Jeff might be sending messages on Twitch and YouTube. They might get very confusing. I'll have to work this one out, I think. Make sure he doesn't start spamming the chat. Yeah, dropping off black magic does sound like a creepy way of saying you've been to the bathroom. Girl you went to school with once got one stuck up there, right? Was it on vibrate? Is that too much of a question to ask? Yeah, Casper, if it's black, it's time to visit the doctor or to stop drinking Guinness. Yeah, but not here for some strange reason. Why is he not turned up on the? It's turned up on the screen, but not mind you. This is the YouTube chat, isn't it? Yeah. So it will appear in there at some point as well, but very odd. So yeah, you were right. You'd have to look at two different things. So you're looking at the YouTube chat, aren't you? Not the Botrix chat. There you go. You leveled up to 16. Well done. That's a massive achievement. Level 16 in your birthday week. Sweet 16 in your birthday week. There you go. Oh dear. Harry Week is tempted to share medical horror stories again. We will learn quite a lot. Yep, you're right, Saf. With the Nokia phone, you ring the number until the vibration shakes everything loose. Did anyone else used to have phone vibration horse races? I'm assuming not. We used to do it in the pub all the time when phones used to have proper vibrate on them and they were big chunky brick things. You stick them on the table in the pub, two phones side by side, and then get other people to ring them and then see which one fell off the table first. I used to bet on them and all kinds. The good old days. Thornton's, did they still do the Alpine selection? What was the Alpine selection? Was that sort of a bit Toblerone in taste? Yep. Fantastic achievement. Loads of points, making loads of prizes. That was the Nokia days. It was the big, thick Nokia brick days. The 3310, the 3330, all those massive phones. I love them. Used to have a Nokia 3310, and it had a case on it, and the case wasn't to protect the phone, it was to protect the floor if it ever fell on the concrete. Phone vibration horse races does sound indeed like a secret society with a weird handshake. It wasn't so much a secret society as it was played in the pub next to work, and there was a weird handshake, but I think all works have got that. With the 3310, the game would be to see which phone would survive the most tanks driving over, because they were absolutely solid, them things. The phones, not the tanks. It was yum, that's what it was. So we need to make sure that Thorntons are hammering the Alpine selection again. 5110 is the original daddy. 3210, yeah, that was one of the first big chunky phones that all of us had. The 3310 was the SAS of mobile phones. Used to have builders used to use them all the time, and if there was a problem trying to split a paving stone, to just get the phone and smash it in the paving stone and smash it to pieces. You miss Snake. Is that a euphemism? Is that a nickname for someone, was it? It's another really simplistic game that's dead easy to play, and everyone loved. I had to explain to my daughter the other day that I predate mobile phones. I mean, I know in the 80s you used to have yuppies with them, like a suitcase with a phone attached to them. That was supposed to be mobile, but I predate mobile phones. So when I say to her, I'll pick you up at 9 o'clock, and she comes out at 9:30, that's not acceptable. If that was me as a kid, if I said I was going to meet you at 9 o'clock, I'd have to meet you at 9 o'clock, because I couldn't ring you at 5 to and say I'm going to be late. There's no mobiles. Crazy. It was a great game, Snake. Something's making a noise, it's pissing me off. Yeah, when you didn't have credit, you played Snake for hours. That was the only thing we had. You couldn't really go on the internet. Now you can just sit and read through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, do that for hour after hour after hour, or watch a film or something on it. But no, just Snake, that was it. And there was another game on there, and I can't remember what it was because it was shit. Yeah, so Casper, your first phone was a 3210i, and it was colour. Huge stuff back then, yeah. Everyone had the phones before you had the 3310. That was the standard, the 3310. Standard in the UK at least, anyway, I know that, so by the sound of it, pretty hefty in Europe as well. It's weird what's happened to Nokia, considering they were the absolute don of mobile phones. I know Apple come along with the iPhone and ruined it a little bit for people, but you would have thought they'd have gone... Yeah, the blue one with the orange sides, I remember that well, yeah. Yeah, bizarre. Yeah, iPhones come along, and then Samsung also cornered half the market with theirs, which, you know, I've been using Samsung for years now because they're just untouchable. But yeah, Nokia should be there as well. They should still be there. Should be massive, and they're not. Kirsty, your phone was the Nokia that wouldn't die. You wouldn't need a charger then, would you? It's the kind of thing you plug it in and then unplug it on Monday and then plug it back in a week on Wednesday. Yeah, companies have basic computers that took up a whole room, and then you look at... I've got a cheap Android watch which has got far more power, and it's on my arm, And it doesn't take up an entire room, but it's still got the same computing power. It's insane. Nokia is still big, yeah, it is, but it's just they should be the world's #1 phones, like they were, and they just got left behind. They are from Finland. They are completely finished. You and a mate had an old Nokia shaped like a World War II radio. We need more of that. They all look the same nowadays, aren't they? They're pretty much the same size, the same shape. They all do the same thing. Just makes one a little bit different. Phones now have far more power than the old computers. Definitely. It's stupid how much power the phones have got. I mentioned this one. It's got an 8K camera on it, which is it's too big, too powerful for YouTube. Gets compressed down to 4K, so there's no point in actually filming in it apart from if you've got an absolutely insane TV, you can watch ridiculously good quality stuff, and also you can, if you're editing, you can zoom right into stuff that was filmed from miles away. Mental. Nokia was far too slow to the changes in the market. It definitely, whether they thought it wasn't going to last, and then people were just going to go back to the old style phones, but it didn't work. So if your first phone was an Ericsson GA628 and you had to pull out the aerial to get a better reception. I can't remember that one. I had a few Ericssons. I can't remember what the models were, but I had a couple of the flip phones. You had the thick blue one to begin with. They replaced it with a grey one that was thinner and similar thing. That was a great phone there. Nokia sold itself to Microsoft. Yep. And to be fair, Microsoft hasn't really done much with phones either, have they? I mean, Google have come up with a phone, but you've either got an iPhone or a Samsung, or you are in the minority. And there are some good phones out there that are not from them too. Your parents' first PC had a hard drive of 3 gigabytes. Casper, our first PC that we had a hard drive of 256 megabytes. Tiny, tiny, tiny thing. Ended up getting a 1 gig, and I thought that was as far as technology could ever get. 3 gigs would be huge back then. 256 meg, jeez. Phones started big, got tiny, now they're getting bigger. Because tiny ones don't work. Remember the stupid little one that you could get that was about that big? They could fit in the little key pockets on your jeans. Absolutely pointless. Yeah, the tiny phones people had on keychains, they were the ones. You can run a Commodore 64 emulator on your phone. In 84, the 64 was a powerful PC. Yep. I had a Amstrad CPC 464, which I think 464 was 464-bit, I'm sure it was. Which, I don't know, I think the Hedgehog outside has got more power than that. Big fixed area on proper old style blue digital number screen. That's what we want. Proper old school stuff. We need more of that. Windows Phone was a failure. It was because it wasn't as good as the other phones out there. Despite the fact that they got all that money, they still couldn't get it right. And thought they had a loyal customer base who'd just go with them. And the loyal customer base went, nah, I'm going with that, that's better. Casper, yours is a Motorola. Is that your phone, or is this another admission or something? Windows 3.1 couldn't really pass 500 meg. Mad on it. 500 meg, that's nothing. It's funny as well, trying to download things on LimeWire. Trying to download an album, which, what is it now? It must be, each song was about 5 or 6 megabytes. So, say 10 to 12, 13, 14 songs even. It's absolutely nothing. Well, 70 or 80 meg. And it used to take hours. You can press download on something now, and I've got 5G. And before you've even took your thumb off, it's downloaded. Absolutely crazy. Yet Apple never really invented anything. They just put other inventions together. And as always, and again, don't really want to be digging out Americans, but they seem to rewrite history a lot because they're convinced that Apple invented the mobile phone, which they didn't. They're also convinced that Elon Musk is a genius who invented electronic cars and going to the moon and things, which he didn't. All these people just bought companies and bought intelligence. Same with Apple, just cobbled stuff together and put in a really good package, which, again, that's exactly fair play. C64 had 64k of RAM. That's nothing, isn't it? Absolutely nothing. Guess your current phone is a Motorola. Nothing wrong with that. You don't need to follow the herd with the same phones that all of us have normally got. Saying that I am not a Samsung fanboy, but I just find them so easy and so versatile that I'm quite happy to stick with them. Things that are built nowadays are not built to last, yes, which is why Apple were taken to court, because they have deliberately put stuff in their phones that once they reach a certain stage, they slow everything down. So you have to go and buy another one, a new one. And they were taken to court and fined tens of millions of pounds over that. Horrible, horrible bastards. Kirsty, nobody's going to the shop. Be careful. That's your cousin downloaded a music video back in 1998. It took close to 122 hours and he had a great PC. Again, you can just click one button and pretty much within a few seconds, it's there. The whole video, the whole film, everything is there within seconds. Musk is a madman. He is. Absolutely insane. This is what happens when you've got loads of money but no mates around you who are willing to give you a slap and say, behave, you're acting like a dick. He hasn't got that. Better than sitting next to a radio with your fingers on play, record, to tape the top 20? No, it isn't. Mandy, we know it isn't. These kids haven't got a clue. There was nothing better than on a Sunday listening to the top 40 and trying to record it and missing out whichever gobshite was trying to ruin the songs by talking over them. Your first PC bought in 2003, 256 megabytes of RAM and a 160 gigabyte hard disk. Like I say, our first one had 256 megabytes of memory full stop. That was 1990 something. 92, 93 was it? Yeah, Steve Jobs and Bill Gates never invented anything. Just found ways of making us dependent on them, which in itself is an absolute skill. But yeah, never invented anything, and yet the Americans are absolutely obsessed with iPhones. Yeah, Kirsty, curly whirlies all round. Which, by the way, if you know someone who's from Dublin or Glasgow, get them to say the word curly whirly. It sounds amazing in those accents. Corley Worley if you're in Dublin, or Curly Waddly if you're in Glasgow. It's amazing. They can do it better than me, obviously. Although I can say chicken better than them, so, swings and roundabouts. Yeah, back in the 20s, a cartel of big companies made a system so the light bulbs shouldn't last more than 2,000 hours. Anything above that, they find each other. Again, I had the same conversation with me niece in the car last week, saying that they'd done this. We could have had light bulbs that lasted almost forever, and we could have saved loads of electricity and all kinds of stuff, but now it's all about money. Yeah, when Elon does something good, South Africans claim him. When he acts mad, he's American. So he's about 99.9% American. So it took him 12 hours. Jeez. That's some going. Did he still sell them? Yes, they do, Barnesy. They definitely do. We've got them in the Tesco by us, which I wanted to go and get some the other day, but I relented and got thingies, breakfast bars, Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bakes, raisin ones. Absolutely superb. Wonderful stuff. Not sponsored, but if you're watching Kellogg's, send a big box in my direction and I will haul myself for you on every stream. How's that? Can't say further than that. It's called the Phoebus Cartel. I will look it up. Yep. Yeah, was it Phillips? It does sound like something Phillips would get involved in, doesn't it? Still can't believe Phillips have left Eindhoven to go to Amsterdam. Crazy. Yeah, heard a Glaswegian say burglar alarm. Apparently there's a big thing on social media saying that Glaswegians can't say purple burglar alarm because they just end up getting the tongue twisted and things. It's funny. I love accents. The UK is brilliant for accents. We have so many of them. Oh, there we go. Osram, yeah, Phillips, Tongs, Associated Electrical Industries, yeah. Elin, that'd be a German company, is it, with DE? Compagnie des Lampes, I'm presuming French. International General Electric, they're US, aren't they? I think, or was GE Overseas Group, they'll be General Electric, won't they? Yep, a cartel. Whenever there's a cartel involved, it's never really good for the consumer, is it? Or the environment. It's all about Dwayne Eddies. Terrible, terrible behaviour. Traitors, that's the art. Have you seen the COP28 at the moment? There's a record number of fossil fuel lobbyists, and also there's something else, lobbyists for other things. It's like there shouldn't be people who are deliberately trying to ruin the world being given access to these governments. There should be to try and save the world, not will you buy more of our oil? Dickheads. That's why I don't mind Just Stop Oil. I know they annoy people, but sometimes you need to. I just wish they'd do it a bit better. One of them did it at Goodison Park, didn't he, for the game against Newcastle last year. Tied himself to a goalpost with a thing round his neck. And we had 10 minutes of extra time added on at the end, in which we scored a goal. And to see loads of Geordies crying over it was brilliant. So, Louis, the lad who tied himself to the goalposts, fair play to you, lad. He was put in jail afterwards as well for something else. Louis, or Lewis McKechnie, his name is. Another great sounding name if you're a Scouser. It's all about McKechnie. Yeah, but 1920, light bulbs already easily ran 10,000 hours. And they stunted the development completely. Back then, light bulbs, they lasted, I don't know how long it was, 2 weeks or something, and then bang, off you go, another one. If we had that technology back then, we should have been using it. Next climate summit is in Azerbaijan, a famous place for being very green, yeah. Huge oil exporter. Never been to Azerbaijan, but everything I've seen on the TV of it, it looks like a really old-fashioned country for about 99% of it, and then all of a sudden, Baku is just this huge, I don't know, it looks like a Southeast Asian megacity plonked in the middle of a desert. It's mad. The people in charge are just trying to kill us all. They don't care. It's all about profits. Profits are no good to you whatsoever if the world is on fire. But you can't argue with these people, just absolutely brainless. You've been to Armenia, they were at war with Azerbaijan, then aren't they still at war? Azerbaijan are definitely at war with someone, aren't they? There's two of them that are constantly still at war. I thought it was Armenia. I think they still might be. They've never ceased hostilities. Georgia were always involved as well. Yeah, they still are, aren't they? Again, I think, what was the programme I was watching? I think it might have been Charlie Borman. Ireland to Sydney by any means necessary. I think he went through there and was talking about it. They had to change the way they were coming because once you've been in one country, you can't go into the next one. So you had to come on in the same way that Top Gear did with if you were going into Israel, you couldn't go through Syria and you couldn't go to Iran and Iraq and things. Your buddy wanted to visit you, Saf, so he cycled from Baku to Cape Town. Took him 18 months. Jeez, that's a hell of a distance. Isn't Cape Town the longest possible journey you can make by sort of road or walk or car or whatever without having to get on a boat or a plane? I'm sure it's Cape Town to, is it something on the very, very far eastern edge of Russia? I'm sure it is. Sure, I've seen a YouTube video of this is the longest possible way you can go. Cape Town too. It's one of those places on the Bering Strait. The only war area you've ever visited. It was impressive. When you were there, the hostilities were limited to military targets that month. Have they? Is that part of the agreement? You're allowed to kill civilians this month. Next month, military only. Yeah, we flattened the Phillips factory in the war, so it is swings and roundabouts. Yeah, I think they do it on Zoom, save money and stop the carbon footprint of all the private jets. No, because it's all there just to put money in each other's pockets. In the same way that that get-together they have in Davos every year, which is all about trying to be green and everything. It's all private jets going there, and it's the arse end of nowhere, the tallest or the highest city or town in Europe. Just picked a ridiculous place just because it's for rich people. He's listed as the first person to cycle the length of South Sudan. That is one hell of a thing to do. Steve-O, how you doing, mate? How's things? You alright? Good to see you, bud. Anyone follow Itchy Boots? She travels by motorbike across the continent. I think you mentioned her before, haven't you? I still haven't got around to seeing her. I might, while I'm here, so I don't forget. I've got a missed call as well. Itchy Boots, 1.92 million subscribers. Well, we've got another one. I'll start checking out her stuff. I like stuff like that. If you go to Khabarovsk, that's a big East Russian city. Hell of a walk it would be. Vladivostok, yep, another one. I'm going to Google this. Longest possible walk it might have been. There we go. The longest walkable distance is from Cape Town in South Africa to the port town of Magadan on the eastern side of Russia. It's yet to be explored. No human has ever gone this long on a walk. The distance between these two destinations is 22,387 kilometres. That is, quite frankly, incredible. There you go, Mandy. Jeff has suddenly appeared on this particular chat. I don't know why he was early on the other one. I'll have to work that one out. It's Nokia 3310. South Sudan is very green if you go by maps at least. Well, maps are normally alright for that, aren't they? Strange though. What's the book about the bloke who travelled everywhere on a Triumph Bonneville? You have to tell us. Steve been watching the tractors drive around Liverpool causing mayhem. The police got out this year because of football. Yeah. It looks like it's been going quite well, that one, isn't it? Seems to be doing quite well. They're always well received, I must admit them lot. The tractors. I've also watched, there's a YouTube channel called Hubnut, which is a fella and his missus who are really into, I wouldn't say classic cars, some of them are classic, but what they're into is just sort of unloved old cars, ones that don't get the credit they deserve. And they're in Wales, West Wales, near Aberystwyth. And they had one earlier on where the tractors were going around them as well, which looked fantastic, all the lights on them. Yeah, Jeff used a speculum. Speculum to accumulum. Jeff is definitely late. I think Jeff was on time. I think he was premature on Twitch. One Twitch and he's premature. Says a lot for Jeff, that, doesn't it? Jeff did it walking on his hands. No, to be honest, he did it walking on other people's hands because he's an evil bastard. We know this. If it gets cold enough, you can go from South America over Alaska into Russia. Yeah, and you walk out 2 years longer. You can. It'd have to be exceptionally cold to freeze the Bering Straits, but you could, in theory, do that. At which point, Jesus, Patagonia to Alaska, across to Russia, all the way to Cape Town. Jesus, that would be a hell of a walk. Yep, thousands of people at the hospital. They're always well received, and they always try and throw a few quid in. Considering we get a lot of slack, get slagged off a lot for being a poor city, we're not. There's loads of money there. There's just, unfortunately, there is a fair bit of poverty. And Newcastle, being Newcastle, turned up on Thursday singing Feed the Scousers, as they always do every year, despite the fact that there's more child poverty on Tyneside than there is on Merseyside. And Chelsea turned up singing it today as well, despite the fact that there's a lot more child poverty in most parts of London than there is on Merseyside. But we always look at the same thing, Feed the Scousers. Manchester fans do it as well. It's all a bit strange, really. You can't walk through the Darien Gap. Nah, you can't. In theory, you should be able to at least get through the Darien Gap. I know there was an American fella on his expedition that drove. It was down the west coast of the United States and all the way down through Chile and wherever, all the way down to the bottom. Which, how they got through the Darien Gap, I'll never know. Simon Reeves did a good programme on that and said how dangerous it was. Jupiter Rising. Yvonne Blanket is an old book. Yeah, it might be Jupiter Rising. Never know. We'll have to have a check of that, won't we? Should we check that now? Jeff turns up when you do. Steve and Jeff have been seen in the same room. Is this what we're asking about now, is it? Jupiter Rising book. Jupiter's Travels. That'll be the one, won't it? Jupiter's Travels. There you go. So yeah, you were close. Casper can walk on water, as can Bob Latchford. Yeah, Steve, I'd kill for his cheekbones as well. In fact, I think Morton Harkett, even the great Morton Harkett, would kill for the cheekbones of fit Jeff. Morton Harkett, of course, from Aha, who was born with spectacular cheekbones, as many a lovely lady has told me over the years. Oh, look at his cheekbones and look at his eyes. They're like cut glass. Fucking hell. Yeah, don't be blowing his high. How do we? Don't be blowing his high. Close but no cigar. I think you deserve a cigar for that one. You at least got Jupiter, which I think is fair enough, isn't it? You knew it was Jupiter. Jupiter Rising, of course, is also a famous film. So it's easy to see why you've got them two mixed up. Is it me or you that's buffering? It must be you that's buffering, not me. I haven't buffered yet. Saf, no worries, mate. Go and get yourself some sleep. Thank you very much for appearing. I always like you turning up, mate. Be good and stay safe, or be safe and stay good. One or the other. Anyway, you've mentioned him. Tales from the Crypt with Jeff. I was a glam rock icon, Bowie, bowling, and the big blue bastard owned London. Fair play to you. Then I found my way into the world of homeopathy. Sulphur and lavender is a heady mixture. Was like John Bishop there. Then became a welder in a Kazakh tractor gaff. Is that for me, is it? Is that for the Scouse accent? A Kazakh tractor gaff. Hoo-yah! Don't be starting that shit, Jeff. Kazakh tractor gaff. You said the wind was picking up. You did, and... oh, it is. And very, very rainy. Very rainy. And there's more Christmas trees and lights outside. So, how do we? And for those who enjoy the walks, at some point this week, once the weather calms down a little bit, I will go out and just do a little bit of a walk around the local area, just to show some of the lights. And I'll make sure to do it at night. And there's a place just down the road from us who always have their lights up really early, and they go to town on them. So, it should be good. Yes, Saf, you saw Sir Jeff before you went to sleep. Hope it didn't give you nightmares. Velteruston. Steve, no I didn't. And I didn't go on Thursday. I am the jinx, we've said this before. We've had 9 home games this season in the league. 5 defeats, 1 draw and 3 wins. I've been to 5 games. I went to all 5 defeats. Every other game I've not been to, we pick points up. It's ridiculous. So after 3.5 years of not seeing me, I'm now being told by my mates to piss off and not come back again. Jeff might need 2 calendars. He might do, actually. He's starting to get the cheekbones are coming in, aren't they? The 6-pack was there, but he's starting to look a bit more metrosexual as our Jeff. Worries me in the slightest. There's something not right about him. He had a lovely hike this morning. Sun was shining. The weather was great for walking. It's lovely that even in the cold. There's something nice about walking in the cold and seeing your breath and getting warm, despite the fact that it's freezing. Getting a little bit out of breath, and also tip of your nose getting cold and your cheekbones getting cold and stuff. I like that. I can't do it as much as I used to, but, you know. I am the Jonah. If they start calling me Uncle Albert, like off Only Fools and Horses, I'm going to be absolutely devastated. But it does seem to be me. Literally 9 games, 3 wins, 1 draw, and I've been to the other 5 games. It's just stupid. The games that I've been to as well, Luton. Alright, we got beat by Fulham. We outplayed them and should have won, but Fulham look a decent team this year. Luton was shit and did nothing to beat us. So, that's just stupid. Everton being Everton. Wasn't freezing, just a lot of mud. Yep. But just being out anyway, it's nice. Unless you've got dogs with you and it's muddy, at which point they get home and just try and find every light bit of furniture that you've got. It's a balmy 4 degrees Celsius out this night. Only 20 degrees Celsius warmer than nighttime temperatures a week ago. That's a huge, huge swing. Mandy, you hate having a cold nose. It's not to everyone's taste, has to be said, but I think there's something for when you've been outside and you can feel your nose and your cheekbones being cold, but you're warm because you've been walking. I like that feeling. Plus when you walk inside the house and it's nice and warm. Walking into a warm house after being cold and taking off wet socks and putting clean, dry ones on. Fantastic feelings. Big fan of that. Fulham humped West Ham today. They did. My mate Nick will be devastated. He's a West Ham fan from Liverpool. Yeah, genuinely. Half his family are blue, half his family are red, and he got sick and tired of them arguing over who he should support. So he just decided to pick the team that was on the telly that year for the FA Cup. 1980 was it? West Ham and Trevor Brooking. So he's been a West Ham fan ever since. Exactly, had a week, exactly. Hot shower, fired on to warm you back, and hot tea. Perfect. It's the same after playing footy. We used to play on a Sunday morning, and it'd be absolutely vile, pissing down with rain, cold. You've been kicked everywhere. There's blood on your shins. Get in, have a hot bath, thaw out, go downstairs and put a fleece trackie on or something, and just lie on the sofa, trying not to cry. Perfect. Yep, 1980 it was, wasn't it? I used to remember all the FA Cup finals really well, and now I can't remember the last probably 20, I don't think. Probably not since 1995, funnily enough. If your socks are wet, you need better boots, or to wear boots in the first place. There's plenty of times I've been out wearing... I've got loads of trainees that are knitted, so that your feet breathe well during the summer, which is great apart from when you go out, obviously, during the winter and it's freezing cold in the water. There's pools full of freezing cold water and it soaks through. Oh man, it's horrible. That's when, like Ringo, it's horrible when your skin's soaked through to the skin, you know. Knit yourself a little nose warmer. Good idea. Dave Allen nose knickers. Get them on, you'll be fine. Mindless the best for hiking. Are they boots, are they? I don't think I'd be able to wear hiking boots because I can't do up laces. I've got a pair of slip-on Skechers, which to this day I'm still embarrassed about, but they come in really handy. And a pair of Velcro strap-over Adidas Stan Smith, which I can just about get away with because they were big in the 80s. Apart from that, all my other trabs are laces, and I can't really do them yet. I'm getting better at it, but I just can't do them properly. I will get there though. This time next year, never mind being millionaires, I'll be able to tie my laces. How's that? What's your New Year's resolution? To be able to tie my own shoelaces at the age of 50. That's a fantastic thing. Yep. Especially when it's cold and wet. You need proper hiking boots when it's cold and wet. Mandy doesn't like breathing unrestricted. Wise move. Velcro is an amazing invention. It is, but it's a bit expensive, isn't it? Bit of a rip-off. Oh shit! I forgot to do the dad joke. Cheers. Damn. I knew there was something. We'll come back to that next year. We will. This year, I'm going to look back at me one from New Year's Eve last year. See what I said in it. See how I felt. What my mood was. And see what the difference is between then and now. It'd be nice having a look and seeing what exactly 12 months difference can be. The people around me have seen there's a difference. My therapists and physios have seen a difference. I feel a difference. But it'd be nice to see how upbeat it was. Because I can't remember what I did. I remember having that little video saying that I'd had a dry Christmas and New Year for the first time since whenever. But be interested to see what I said and then what my attitude is compared to it this time. But we will come back to that. Man, you can't even sleep with your head under the covers. You can't build a pillow fort under the bed. I do that all the time. When I was in the hospital, my sister brought me a fleece blanket, the Snoop Dogg pimp fleece, which I still to this day have, and I love it. A burgundy velvet on one side and wool on the other, which was absolutely incredible. Kept me warm in the hospital, and I used to just put it over my face when I didn't want to be bothered, and just they'd leave me there. I'd have me, what do they call it? Me mask with the earphones built in, listening to Aphex Twin and Orbital and The Orb and people like that, or chill music. I'd always cover my face and just hide under it. But if you can't, you can't. Jeez, that tea is still absolutely red hot. Right. I don't want to end up getting stuck like last week, so...
But Kipper's Vindaloo can't be good for you.
It's Kipper's Corner.
Kippers kicks ass.
Milford Haven garden ornament turns out to be a live bomb. The shell was thought to have been in the couple's garden for more than 100 years. 100 years with a live bomb in your garden. And the couple said it was like the passing of an old friend when it was detonated by a bomb disposal team. The whole house and the whole road would have passed by if it hadn't been detonated somewhere else. Sian and Geoffrey Edwards in Milford Haven, Pembrokeshire. It's thought to have dated from the 19th century, and they thought it was a dummy with no charge. Check this shit before you start pretending it was a dummy. The Ministry of Defence said it removed a £64 or 29 kilogram naval projectile. Look at that thing there. That is insane. What does Kipper say? Mental bastards.
Kippers kicks ass.
They are indeed ornamental. Just check these things. If it's got BOMB written on the side or Acme Bomb Company or something, don't just think it's all right. It's only it's only a pretend one. No, it might not be. It doesn't look pretend. It doesn't look plastic. It looks like it's about to explode. Am I doing an end of year review to see how far I've come? I might do. I'll have to have a look into it. Don't know how it would work. That is one stable shell. This is a massive one. The bloody huge thing. 29 kilograms of ordnance. They clean their trowels on it after gardening. Banging the trowels against it. Jeez. Acme was ticking and meep. By the way, I've seen a Roadrunner in real life. I've mentioned this. I think I didn't I, on the podcast. Went to Los Angeles in 1988. We ended up doing a bit of work for the family that we were staying with. Could have been a millionaire. Easily within the space of about 6 months living over there. Tried to tell my uncle when we got back. They were so lazy. Absolutely incredibly lazy. We ended up doing a bit of work in somewhere near San Diego, which was a newly built sort of sand pit and play area for kids, and all the hardcore that they've been using was still in the sand, so it needed to be sifted, and all the hardcore needed to be taken away and thrown in the desert. And the fellow went, I'll pick you up at about 2 in the afternoon, and my dad went, you can fuck right off. 5 o'clock in the morning, pick us up, we'll go there. Like a 3 or 4 hour drive to get to San Diego from LA. Don't want to be doing that during the middle of the day. Drove there, started doing this work, and we did about 4 days worth of work in one afternoon. They kept throwing it on the back of the pickup, taking it round the corner to the Mojave Desert and dropping it off there. Come back, I'd sifted more of the sand, more stuff to throw on the back. We ended up doing loads of work. Got paid quite a few quid. The fella we done it for said, he was Canadian. He said, if you ever come back here, I will find a job for you. Easily. And then we ended up doing some painting and decorating for someone. Again, that was supposed to be a 2-week job. We done that in 2 days. They're so bone idle. We'll turn up at 11 o'clock, then we'll have lunch at 12. We'll do an hour in the afternoon and then we're done for the day. No, we're getting there early hours in the morning and off we go. And there was a Roadrunner in the desert. And it's not blue, it's brown, unfortunately. I didn't say meep, but it did make a noise. It wasn't painting a picture on the wall and run through it. And I was devastated. I mean, I was only 15 at the time. Saying I was only 15, I was 6'4" and 15 stone, and I was drinking Guinness at the age of 15 in the British and Dominion Club in Los Angeles, because I looked well over 21 at that point. And the fella who'd run it was a Cockney who went, he's alright, don't worry about it. If the police come in, just have a glass of Coke next to it and pretend that's his. Sound. Put a coyote in his enclosure, yep. I love the Roadrunner. Them cartoons. He was as thick as shit, that coyote, wasn't he? Did you ever see it? Oh, what's the name of that film? Something Jack. There was a film with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. Cactus Jack, was it? which was a live action thing, but they used loads of the jokes from Roadrunner in a live action setting. It was hilarious. I'm going to check that now. Yeah, Cactus Jack. If it ever comes on, watch it. It's quite funny. Kirk Douglas was in it as well. Very odd. They had the same joke of painting the side of a massive boulder black and someone drove through it. Brilliant. That's where I first heard of Acme. The Acme company. And funnily enough, when my dad went into the hospital last week, he was kept on the Acme ward. I had no idea what it was, but I'd heard it before in Roadrunner, so I thought it's going to be dodgy in there, isn't it? There'll be all kinds of shenanigans going on. But right. Is it on catch up? Yeah, once you're caught up with it, you get hit on the head by an anvil, unfortunately. This was, last time I watched it was about 30 years ago or something crazy. Is it a big bird? It's not big actually, they're only small. Well, this thing was only small anyway. But you could tell it was a Roadrunner. Just by the shape of it. It looked identical to the Roadrunner on the cartoon, apart from the fact that it was brown, not blue. And it wasn't smiling. I don't think it had eyebrows. Yeah, Sesame Street. And also my ex-wife. She was a big bird. 6 foot tall. Jeez. I think she was happy with me at the time because she could wear high heels and we were the same height. Whereas everyone else she was with before and she was towering over. Sesame Street, or Sesamstraat as it was called in the Netherlands, I remember that. They changed the theme tune slightly, the words to it. Yeah, it's a skinny pheasant. I almost hit 3 of them this week. Dropping me niece off at work, there's loads of pheasants up and down there. Because we just go, if you've seen the video that I put on, the little drive that I did, it's all proper farm fields and what have you. And there's loads of them. You're forever seeing pheasants that are as thick as shit. But, you know, forever seeing them getting hit and they're on the road. I almost hit 3 of them last week. I had to slow down and beep just to get rid of 2 of them. But, yeah. The gorgeous looking things. Just stupid. I seen one that had been hit on the way to work when I was dropping her off, and on the way back there was 2 magpies with their heads deep into it, getting absolutely wolfed into the pheasant. Your big bird has a different colour. I can't remember that far back, to be honest. But I just remember the name was... Sorry, the name of the programme was Sesamstraat, which is Dutch for Sesame Street, obviously. Just weird the way it was changed. It wasn't called like Sesame Street, no, it was Sesamstraat. Big bird's name there is Pino, and yours is Blue. Ah, well. Sesamgade in Danish. Again, we're learning loads. We always learn stuff here. You'd just make an assumption, wouldn't you? That Sesame Street was the same the world over. It isn't. I beeped. I didn't even go beep beep, which I should have done, shouldn't I? You beep beep or you meep beep. Is that a difference between having a cold and not having a cold? The Danish Queen is actually 6 foot as well. Her dad was 6'6" and her granddad was 6'8". Heavy that, mate. That's how a queen should be, especially a Nordic or Scandinavian queen. An ice queen, she should be huge. A huge Valkyrie warrior. Big bird looks like a big canary. Yep. Come on, you yellows. How do you get on this weekend? Steve, I didn't see. A blue big bird, yes. My ex was an Evertonian as well. Nothing wrong with blue. We like blue. Oh, man. I thought I made me tea with water. I obviously mistaken and put magma in there instead. Not sponsored, Thermos. But if you can get an opportunity to get one of these, Argos were doing them cheap, I think, at one point. Get one. They are absolutely incredible. Money well spent. All those days of taking me sister to the hospital and sitting outside, I always had that with me on my blanket, and it was absolutely fantastic. A 0-0 board draw with Preston. Well, I've got loads of mates in Preston who are all huge North End fans, so I think they'll be happy with that, to be honest. A point off Norwich. I don't think Norwich will be too happy with a point off Preston, no. But if I had me opportunity this year, I would like to see Norwich, Preston and Middlesbrough promoted into the Premier League. I'd be happy with that. I'd love to see Preston come up, just because it's close by anyway, and like I say, I've got loads of mates who support them. For an away game, I'd be able to drive there in about 20 minutes, which is, I can't even get to Goodison in that time. Roddle might like a big bluebird. I think he would do. What was he doing? Fucking idiot. How old was he when he died? He was in his 70s or something, and he was up on the roof trying to fix an aerial. Helmet. Never trusted him, no. Any stories come out about him, because he looks like he's got U3 written all over him. Hey, Grandad next to the farmers in old photos looks crazy. He's well over a foot taller than most of the peasants. We've gone from pheasants to peasants. We like this. Probably would have done back then. Massive. That even to this day, 6'6" and 6'8", still big. Must have been scary back in the day. Mandy's got a flask. Good. Although a part of me was thinking when I was sat in the car, I had my little thermos flask of tea and my blanket over my knees. All I needed was a little picnic, and I'd have gone full pensioner. They parked the coach and you ain't good enough. Seems to be what they're doing this season, Preston. Trying to win the home games and then not get beat away. Or not get beat against the teams that are doing really well, or big teams, you know. It might work for them, it might not do. But yeah, if you can't work your way through a team like that, you don't deserve all 3 points, do you? Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. But hopefully, you win the next game. You'd like to have seen Big Bird versus Emu. That would have been two different weight classes, but would have been a good fight. It would have been a nasty fight, that. That would have been a back alley scrap, wouldn't it? Yeah. Is it a hip flask full of Tia Maria? Is that what it is? You haven't got one? You should have one. An engraved one. Is it sacrilege to put alcohol-free red wine in a hip flask? The future king is 6 foot, so he's tiny compared to his granddad and great-granddad. 6 foot's still tall. It's not like 6'6" and 6'8" tall. They are stupid. I mean, Jesus, I'm 6'4", and I've got mates who are taller than me, and it's always weird. I'm just not used to it, having someone who's taller than me, but that's when you know you're doing well in height-wise. Mandy likes the little funnel. Don't we all, Mand? You never know what Santa might bring you. Yep. Santa baby, slip a hip flask under the tree for me. All together now. We're not going to get a fucking copyright strike for that, are we? What's happened to me voice, man? I used to be punk. Yeah, you never know. Santa could bring you a hip flask, signed one, in his own handwriting. Dear Mandy, have a drink on me. Love, Santy. Saf's followed me on Twitch. I've doubled the amount of followers I've got in one stream. How good's that? Yep. I'm starting to lose the plot. Was Roddle with grot bags? Wasn't it? Oh, there's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door. There certainly was when he fell off the roof. Yeah, wouldn't get in. Chimney's always blocked off. Mandy, Santa doesn't need to get in the chimney. He can magic himself in there. Know what I mean? Yeah. Mandy's been a naughty girl this year. Which, it might suit Santa. That always worries me, that Santa. We tell kids, we lie to them. Don't lie. Lies are bad. By the way, the Tooth Fairy and Santa exist. And Santa is a middle-aged man with a dodgy-looking beard who likes to come into your room once a year and empty his sack. Yeah, sound. Nothing wrong with that, is there? I'll make sure you put a little thing of sherry out for him, because he likes to get drunk before he tiptoes into your bedroom. It's so seedy, isn't it, Christmas? No complaints, eh, Mandy? Self-praise is no recommendation, but fair play. Why am I getting more and more notifications? Where does Santa take you when you've been bad? I'll have to refrain from answering that one. Yeah, Steve, I was just thinking it as I was describing it. If Steve turns up trying to empty his sack, go and tell the local policeman. Yeah, where does Santa take you when you've been bad? Do we know? In Denmark, you celebrate it on the 24th. So does he come there on the 23rd? Is that why he manages to fit everyone in? Split over a couple of days. Yeah, any weird ass bloke breaks in there, he's going to regret it. I can imagine that, Mandy. I can proper imagine it. You celebrate it on the 25th and 26th, but nobody to bring presents then. He's too busy. Letting down kids in the UK at that point. Yeah, in Greenland they have a giant red mailbox that always gets full with letters to Santa. It's nice that trying to make kids believe that something doesn't exist, but Christmas is nice for kids if you do it that way, but after a while they just get sick of it, don't they? Yeah, Santa, yeah. What do I want off Santa this year? Fuck all. But you go and do some overtime because I want a new computer or I want a new bike. Alright. Yeah, doesn't take you to Spain. Krampus will get involved. Doesn't leave you coal if you're bad. The price of coal nowadays, that'd be a decent gift, to be honest. Plenty of coal in Wales, so he doesn't even have to go too far to pick it up, does he? Yeah. Santa is religion light. I do love that. It's just one of those things. Yeah, it is a Welsh thing, but it's also a Scouse thing, because I remember that. It used to be, you leave it a sack of coal, and then sacks of coal started getting really expensive, so it would be a lump of coal. Now he leaves you a solar panel, yep, and an invoice. My reindeer smashed into your your fence. That's why his nose is red. Where there's blame, there's a claim. You get sugar beet in Norfolk. Not if you've got a gas fire, of course. Geez, there you get the birch rod. The birch is banned over in the UK now. Although I'm sure there's quite a few people who still like it and will actually pay for it, including quite a few Conservative MPs. Normally the tree is not decorated until the 23rd and 24th at night. Actually, you leave it really, really late. Yeah, the kids got to come in dressed as Santa and put presents under the tree. That's Sinterklaas, not Christmas yet. Of course, get the birch rod at that point. Split over 2 different times. It's in the Netherlands. Loads of different ways of celebrating it all over the world as well, isn't it? Not all the same. Oh, and orators, haikus. There's a storm raging. The wind is so strong outside. Fuck, there goes the shed. Bit of clarity there, isn't it? Straight to the point with Horace this time. I think the weather must be getting to him as well. He likes to sit outside in the sun. He doesn't like all this stuff. Doesn't like wheelie bins flying around in the wind at all. Don't they still have it on the Isle of Man? I'll have to ask me mate. Zoe lives over there. She does. She loves the Isle of Man. She's been there for a while now. I think she's just been given her extra finger has been sewn on this week to make her feel like she's at home. And fuck, it's definitely an appropriate response in such a situation. I drove all over the place last night going to pick my daughter up, and there was an office chair that had been blown into the middle of the road. Never hit it. There was wheelie bins blown over. There's sheds in bits. There's people's fences blown over. Absolutely nothing got in the way. There's a street sign that had been blown over near Hightown in the middle of absolutely pitch black fields on the way to the station. Never hit anything at all. Nothing hit me. And then I got all the way to drop my daughter off, and just outside her house, these 2 mini branches or very thick twigs come down and hit the car. Shit her right up. She wasn't expecting it at all. So all that way, and it's going to smash my car to bits, which it didn't. They bounced off it, but I was surprised. Horrible. And it is getting worse out there now. So I'm keeping an eye on my phone in case she does need a lift at some point. She's supposed to be getting dropped off in the car by someone else though, so gingers crossed. Right. Do the round table blokes still turn up a Santa on Boxing Day with a forgotten present? I think they do. There's a round table in Southport. I'm sure they used to do that. I don't know if it's changed. I've not seen them. Then again, I don't read the papers anymore. I haven't done for about 20 years. So most people wouldn't put a tree up there till the 16th to 20th. But they would decorate the house. It's getting earlier and earlier here. Happens all the time. November, they're starting to put up lights. And then trees go up not long after. I don't mind the lights going up, but, you know, it's not good for people who want to take astrophotography, but it looks really nice. It makes a boring road at times, nice, quiet, boring road, look really good. Yesterday was crazy windy everywhere. Not just art, but a lesson there from Horace Barnsley. Yes, 100%. He is a bear of many talents, but he also tells it how it is. He's a bear of the street. He's a street bear. He's a poet and a scholar. He really is, Mandy. Horace. He's been there. He's seen it. He's done it. He's seen some things and some stuff. Doesn't talk about it all the time, which makes me think that maybe he's seen some things that he shouldn't have done. But that's all part of being a scholar, like you say. A scholar's a good word for him. He's got a scholarly look about him. Boxing Day is the 26th, yep. Second Christmas Day there, but the same thing. The reason why it's called Boxing Day, of course, over here, is because in the days where you had people that owned the house and you had people who worked for them, the owners or the masters would provide a Christmas box for the staff. So that's where they got their treat and they'd look after them. So it was like a second Christmas Day, but for the staff, not just for yourself. The round table's still a thing. I think it is, Steve. Anywhere that's got a secret society, men will flock to, because we are a bit like that, aren't we? Again, Billy Connolly, I look at tits, but they're going to tell me a secret. That's exactly what they're like. That's why you got Masons, Freemasons, the Brotherhood on the square and on the level, and round tables and stuff. Yeah, how do we get Christmas boxes for your employers at the end of the year? It's exactly the same thing. But of course, if you look like Downton Abbey, that's like the whole of the UK used to be back in the day. Obviously, you were landowners and people that work for them. They would always then turn the favour. You've looked after us all year, so here you go. Here's your present off us for looking after us. And I think watching MASH has reminded me that also Boxing Day in the army, the British Army, on that day, the officers would do the enlisted men's jobs and the enlisted men's jobs to do the officers' men's jobs. Be a turnaround, so it's still tradition with that as well. As a thank you for what everyone's done over the year. So it's still a big thing in this country. And also the Boxing Day becomes the first day of the sales. As soon as that starts, everyone's out at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning trying to buy new sofas because they're 20 quid cheaper than they were last week. I'm sure we'll have to Google this as well, won't we? I can't even spell round. I've just put R-O-I-N-D, Roind, which is in Belfast. Yep. Southport Hesketh Round Table, which is a registered charity, so it's definitely a thing where I am. I would think there will be round tables all over the country. Round tables are normally where people have, like a vriendenkring, we'd have people who've got a bit of money, businessmen, to give something back to the society that they live in or the area that they live in. They get together, they fundraise, and they'll try and, like was mentioned earlier on in the chat, kids that don't get Christmas presents, the round table will try and get money throughout the year and will buy loads of presents to give to unfortunate kids. Sort of a way of giving back to the area that you come from. And also I think for a lot of them it's a way of, networking with each other, so it suits them. They're going to get a little bit of business out of it, but at the same time they will help the local community out. So it's normally a good thing. It's done for the right reasons, and called the Round Table because it's supposed to be similar to King Arthur and his Knights at the Round Table. Secret society and everything, but it is to give back. It's not just like the Freemasons where you do each other favours. They probably will do, but also is giving back. So yeah, it is a nice gesture. It is a bit similar to the vriendenkring, which they had in Enschede. All the local businessmen who liked the football club would put the hand in the pocket and would finance people coming to the if they, like my dad was going to be a sort of a biggish signing because he was coming from England. So they want to throw a bit of money in each to make sure that you got a good signing on fee. And also, one of the fellas at the vriendenkring used to own a Mercedes garage. So he said to him, you go and pick a car, you can have it. Someone else used to own a clothing factory, so if you need clothes, come and see me, you can have them. It's a similar kind of thing, only with them it was done specifically for a business reason. Round tables over here, I think, is more charity and local community giving. Your mother gets a small present from a job at the regional hospital That's what we like to see, as they all should. And that reminds me, actually, good job you reminded me. I need to go and pick up some chocolates and cards. I need to go to the hospital and drop some off for the staff there. And also, I need to go back to the clinic on Friday and hope that they're there. So I want to drop them off for the therapists and physios that dealt with me all year. Just to say thank you. Yep, Boxing Day football, can't beat it. Apart from the fact that you're normally absolutely hammered from the night before. So you end up going feeling rough. And there's no trains and no buses. So if someone's driving, you're alright, but if they aren't, you struggle. Delusions of Arthurian nights. That's what middle-aged men are like. We can tell you this right now, it's exactly what we're like. Become part of a secret society. Sit round a round table together, drinking flagons of foaming ale. And then go out and joust in the back garden. Oh, man. They don't do the gift thing for free. You have to buy the gift and pay them to deliver it. Well, the round table where I am, they do it for free. They look after local communities. They'll go and get gifts. They'll do it through the year. Raise money. They raise money for loads of different things, if I remember rightly. Christmas being one of them. And they'll buy loads of stuff and make sure that they take it round to kids' homes and places where they know they are struggling. As we all should. In fact, we shouldn't have to. We should get to the point where people are struggling just to buy the kids a present for Christmas. No one should be struggling that kind of way. There should be work for everyone. And there isn't. People should be able to eat all year round. Should be warm all year round. And they're not. How often do I think of the Roman Empire? I don't. I've seen that mentioned somewhere, but no. There's too much shit going on to think about the Roman Empire. When the next door neighbour is banging on the fence, you don't think of, well, I wish he was a Christian and I was a lion. Nothing like that. Depends on how often you see Russell Crowe. Hadouich, yeah, I'm sure you're not the only woman who's thinking that way. And I can see why. It doesn't tickle my pickle, but I can see exactly why the lovely ladies seem to like him. Although he doesn't look like that now, does he? The last few pictures I've seen of him, I think he was in training for a role where he had to put loads of weight on. And being nice to him, he might have just become a fat bastard in his old age, like we all do. But I'm sure he was preparing for a role. Preparing for a role as Twiggy from the royal family. In his old days, yeah. Happens to the best of us. Which does, again, that reminds me, I need to put on a t-shirt, don't they? That reminds me. I need to weigh myself after this and then do my blood pressure to see whether or not I'm going to die next week. And yet we've got nurses coming into the house every day. I should get them to do my blood pressure for me instead, shouldn't I? I pay your wages. They're all dead nice as well and look after me dad, so I'm delighted with them. You'd rather Chris Hemsworth, yep, or Cheekbone Jeff. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth, he's a pretty good looking lad, isn't he? Very popular as well with lovely ladies. Chris Hemsworth can come around every day. I think there'd be an open invite for him in most women's houses. Fair play. If you're willing to put the amount of effort in that people like him do into looking the way he does. I can't be arsed just getting out of bed most days. My exercise includes... Oh, jeez, that's about it, really. That's it, I'm done. Jason Momoa as well, is that his name? The big Hawaiian dude. Seems to be quite a few people in our work who wouldn't mind him popping round for Christmas. Sounds a lot like your exercise. Yeah, I'd like to be able to do more, but I can't. I'd love to be able to run. Just the idea of being able to run. I know my knees are absolutely fucked at the moment, but Well, not just that. My balance is knackered and I'm recovering from a stroke. Have I told that to anyone? Have I mentioned that at all? I'd love to be able to run now. If I could, I'd be able to get a lot out of my system. And I certainly can't play football now. Gutted, absolutely gutted with that. There's nothing better for the soul than whacking a ball and seeing it hit the back of a net. It's just that feeling. Yeah, Jason Momoa, he's calm down, ladies. Yeah. He also seems quite a funny lad, to be honest with you. He's got a good personality, good sense of humour. Which, again, apparently ladies like that. Which I'm not 100% sure they do. They say they do. But then I'll sit and tell dad jokes all day long and cry myself to sleep at night. Alone. In a cold bed. Just me. Horace. And Kippers. Terrible. Anyway, it's getting late, isn't it? And I'm starting to feel knackered. So let's start making tracks and getting ready to disappear. It has been yet another wonderful couple of hours in the company of superb, wonderful people. I always enjoy this. If I've been having a good day, it feels better. If I've been having a shit day, it improves straight away. You were going on about him when he was on Stargate Atlantis. I can't remember that. I didn't really watch it, so I couldn't remember it. I didn't know that he'd been on something like that. With his dreadlocks. Yeah, you need to go out with Arvin. Need to go and have the dog pee. So, where are we? Where's my little button? Oh, you love Stargate? I remember the original Stargate. Used to be on BBC Two. But I not watched any of that. Legolas can't walk at the moment. Messed up his leg again yesterday morning. Oh, man, that's horrible. Hope he improves bloody quick. Barnsley, absolutely 100%. They're all good-looking blokes. But what can they offer in the variety of chocolates? What are they bringing to the table, apart from a six-pack, good looks, and Hollywood millions? Nothing. Anyway.
That's all we've got time for this evening, so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night. Good night.
And that's that.